Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is not going to be super exciting because, well, it's supposed to be an exciting video. For most people, their location, like their itinerary, housing and location reveal is super exciting. Some of my roommates already got their itineraries earlier today. We're just waiting on one last girl. She hasn't gotten her itinerary yet, but I just got mine a little bit ago. We knew this morning 4 of the girls received their, well, 3 of the girls received their itineraries and they were all in Chatham Square. And then Kat, the girl that I was linked up with for the housing preferences, which I'll get to that in a second, but we linked up together and her itinerary said Patterson Court. So I already pretty much knew, like, right then and there that I was in Patterson Court. Just got my itinerary, that confirmed it. My absolute last choice. I'm very concerned that we're just going to be in a 1-bedroom because the rent there is $196 a week. That's insane, and that is not like what I budgeted for and was planning for whatsoever, especially planning on living in a 3-bedroom at like one of the cheaper complexes, and now finding out that we're in Patterson Court and potentially, like, we might get placed with other random people that we have no idea who they are, but we might also be in a 1-bedroom with just Kat and me. Your girl's about to be making hella YouTube videos because I'm gonna need some extra money to still be able to, like, go on the beach trips and have fun. So yeah, housing reveal, I'm in Patterson Court, which is ironic because that was where I wanted to be. That was actually where I wanted to be for my very first program. Like, I wasn't really, I was like, Patterson Court's the nicest, so let's live there. And everybody else was like, no, let's live in Chatham, it's cheaper. I'm like, okay, majority rules. Well, some of the other girls were like Vista, but then they were like, well, let's meet in the middle and we'll do Chatham. So I wasn't super excited about that. Loved Chatham though. Lived in Vista, loved Vista. Never wanted to live in Patterson. Absolutely last choice. But now I guess I'll have lived in all 3 well, not all 3 because Commons is open now, but I'll have lived in 3 of the 4 complexes by the time this is over. So that's kind of cool, I guess. And the Patterson apartments are really nice, and there are a lot of cats in the complex. Super random tidbit, but there are a lot of random cats just like walking around the complex all the time. And a group of girls that they've been there, they moved in a month ago now, but this one girl that I've been talking to like since March, her and her roommates live in Patterson. So I do already know like a bunch of people that live in Patterson and Chatham Square are right across the street from each other, so we can still go to each other's apartments all the time and still be together all the time. And just like, there's no buses at Patterson, so we have to walk over to Chatham Square to get to the bus, which is gonna kind of suck. But yeah, so I'm a little bummed about Patterson. Like, it definitely has its pros, and there are a lot of people that Patterson is their absolute first choice and they would never want to live anywhere else. For me, I'm like, good job for you. Do you want to change complexes? Because Kat and I will totally go take your place in Vista. And we're still all doing roomie gifts because we already bought all of our gifts for each other. Yeah, and like all of us are doing universal annual passes, so we're still gonna be doing all of that stuff together. It's not the end of the world that we're not all living together. It just does suck because you bond so close with the girls that you live with. It just kind of sucks. So, housing out of the way, my location reveal. So y'all already know if you watched my like acceptance video or how to apply, I don't even remember where I put it, but I said, you know, that I got accepted again and that I was going to be in attractions. I thought that I put no interest in attractions because I really didn't want to work in attractions. But then in the phone interview, my recruiter said that I had low interest in attractions, and was that correct? And I was like, oh, I thought I put no interest in that, and she said that she could change it. I thought about it, I'm like, no, there are a lot of places that I would love, like it would be so much fun to work at. There are a lot of attractions that would be so much fun to work at. And I told her, you know, I really just said no interest in attractions because it is my last choice, and I really didn't want to work in parking for like personal reasons. For those personal reasons being that I almost died in a car accident one time, and I have been hit by a car before in a parking lot. I also don't really feel comfortable driving that many people in a tram. Like Kilimanjaro safaris where it's a small group of people, I could totally do. A tram with a very large amount of people on it and a very large vehicle, I don't think I'd be very comfortable doing that or feel very safe doing it. Also, like just sitting or like standing around in parking lots, I get anxiety just thinking about it, being around these vehicles. As soon as I got my acceptance letter and saw that I was attractions, my first thought was, watch me get stuck with parking. And guys, guess where I am? I'm at Magic Kingdom parking operations. At this point in time, I just have to laugh because I've literally gotten my last choice in everything this time around. And I think it's just like punishment for leaving my 2014 program where I had my first choice in everything. So now I just kind of have to make the best of the worst. It might not be the worst though. Like, I did look into parking a lot because I was like, I just kind of knew that's what I was going to get. Not a lot of past college participants or just people in general have talked about working in parking at Disney World, but everything that I have seen has been very positive. And like, a lot of people are saying that it's actually a lot of fun. And even though it's a safety critical role, which is pretty self-explanatory, it is really fun and pretty low-key, and you are the first guest interaction. Like, you're interacting with them before they are even getting into the park. You do get to spiel. If you're on the tram, it is air conditioned, which is nice because even though you're outside, like, at least you're getting air conditioning. And there's definitely pros, and I'm gonna go into it with an open mind and do training and whatnot, but if I am like really concerned and not comfortable with it and like stressed about it too much, then I do know that because Disney like prioritizes safety, I know that I can speak with my leaders very early on and tell them, look, like, I don't feel safe in this position, and like, if I'm worried about my own safety, then I'm also worrying about the safety of the guests that I'm interacting with or that I'm responsible for, and you know, could I be placed somewhere else? And they'll do that. They'll, if your biggest reason is safety, not just because you don't like it, like if you have a legitimate reason, especially if safety is it, then yeah, like they will work with you. And I mean, you might not get to pick where you get relocated to, but it's still like safety is really important at Disney. But I was also looking at like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you have to do for safety critical roles that I didn't even like think about. I knew I was gonna have to do a drug and alcohol test, but there's actually a safety critical role session where I have to like take all of my medications and disclose to them like any mental health disorders, which, hello. And there's all this like exams and just all these different things that you have to do to be in a safety critical role, and that's before I even start training. So who knows, like with the medications that I'm on and having depression and anxiety and insomnia, like they might not even let me stay in this role. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna go into it with open mind. I'm still excited. Like, I'm going out to Disney at the holidays. There's a lot of emotions going on right now. I'm like super disappointed, but also super excited because I get to be at Disney for the holidays. Gonna go into it with an open mind. Still super excited, still can't wait. Our check-in is Tuesday. I check in at 8 a.m. at Patterson on Tuesday, and then at 9 a.m. I have casting. At noon I have my drug and alcohol test, and then the next day, Wednesday the 5th, is the housing welcome session at 11 a.m. 2 days later on Friday is my safety critical role situation that's at Epcot, and then I don't have traditions until Saturday at 3:10 in the afternoon, which kind of sucks because that's just even longer that I have to wait to get my blue ID to be able to get into the park. Anyway, that's the situation. Just have to make the best out of the last choices. Also, it could be worse. I mean, I put absolute no interest in like everything else. I should have just said no attractions, because then I at least would have had a role, and a role that I absolutely love no matter where the location is. Like this one, I'm just kind of like, I didn't even want attractions, and now I'm in a location that I didn't even want, and living where I don't want, on all this stuff that I was like, it was just last choice. But I don't know, I'm just gonna have to make the best of it. I'm still very blessed and like lucky to be able to go back to Disney and do the Disney College program again, especially since I was a restricted rehire, because I know there's a lot of restricted rehires that did not get back, like accepted again. I know that I'm very blessed and lucky to have this chance to be able to go back and get the restricted rehire like off my record so that I can eventually do one of the professional internships. That's the situation. I will see you all next time. Until then, work hard, be kind, spread good vibes. I love you all. Goodbye.